Seventh sense is an experience. It is difficult to explain what it was, but once you experience it, it will change your whole perspective of the life, the way you look at the things, the way you look at how things are happening in this universe. It gives you access to the abundance knowledge, and I believe now that it was the capability to reach out to the deeper super subconscious of your own mind. And this super subconscious of your existence is directly a window to the cosmic existence, the universal existence, which has lot of information, lot of knowledge into it, and you had free access to it. Whatever you seek, if your question is right, you will automatically get the answers, and this whole process is quite effortless. It makes you more aware about what is happening actually in this universe, how this universe is working, how every cell is working, how this universe is organized, how your body is organized, how our thoughts are organized, what we do and why we do. There is a definite law why things are happening. And this sense gives you capability to understand that. I've tried to explain many of my understandings on my page, The Seventh Sense, on Facebook. I've talked to many people what I am understanding. Those ideas were new. It was kind of an absurd thing. But once you verify them and implement them in the life, you find them correct always. A few foundings which I found in those times were about the energy, how energy is a main reason of disease in human beings. The second was the relationship of black hole and homeopathic medicines, how they work, and how it is related to the concept of black hole. What is the electron and what we do, the antimatter, that's the proton or positron, how it helps. I've mentioned this all on my Facebook page in I think 2014. These findings were never mentioned by anybody, never taught by anybody. And once you see and implement them, what I am talking, these were very appropriate to the time. But what I believe, what I must say, what I revealed 7 years back was too early for the world to understand. Maybe now if you go back on the page and see what I have written, you will relate to it and you will see to it what I said was 7 years back. And it was quite insane to say those things. But now I think many people relate what I'm saying. I think this sense gives you capability to access the knowledge what everybody of us already have. But we are not aware of that. And once you are able to sense that information in some kind of signals, you would be able to derive that knowledge. And some may say it as the intuitive capabilities. Maybe that's true, but not sure. This sense gives you capability to understand the collective universal knowledge which your soul has gathered in many lives. Or if you want to say on a scientific aspect, it gives you capability to derive the knowledge which your DNA has, and that has been coded during the process of evolution for this millions and billions of years, maybe even before that. And once you understand, you are clear with how this universe is working. You are clear how this body functions, how this mind functions, how this world, how this universe is organized and why it is organized. It gives you an access to your own self. It is the state where you don't understand anything, but you just witness it. See, why I'm saying it is super subconscious, because one state is you are aware of things like my name is this, I'm staying in this city, I have this is my family, this is my friend. This is your awareness. You are aware about the facts. When you are doing something, there is always subconscious mind is also understanding and reading many information signals and perceiving it subconsciously and passively. What I always say that this subconscious mind is the mind with which your genes, your DNA understand things. It does not understand your awareness or your aware mind. Your DNA receives input from your subconscious mind. So now, let's say if there is a DNA as a physical body, it has a mind. That is your subconscious mind. And now, if we go one step deeper, we understand the subconscious mind of the DNA. That is the super subconscious mind, what I am trying to explain. I think this makes sense. So this super subconscious mind is the subconscious mind to your DNA. And your DNA is a collective knowledge, a collective information for these thousands and billions of years. What you are right now is not the product of one day. It's not even the product of 7 months or the 9 months of the pregnancy. No. You are an outcome of the evolutionary process of being a non-matter existence to the materialistic existence. I hope this is going quite deeper, so let's cut it off. Let's come back to the scenario. So I would be very soon posting first implementation where I have tried to tell the importance of philosophy. I always say philosophy is the mind of science. You need to understand things first. Then you try to take a control over it. You try to understand why things are happening. Can we control them? Can we use them with some obvious intention? And if we are able to do it, we call it science. So, seventh sense is that understanding which gives you freedom to explore your own philosophy of everything in this universe which is happening. This knowledge is there inside you, but we are not just aware of it. Why I'm saying this knowledge is already inside you? Because I got to know certain things which I would say I have never heard anywhere in my life. I have never read anywhere in my life. I have no access to it, and I have never thought of. It was beyond my capabilities. But later on, I was able to understand. I knew things which I have never read. I could understand things which I have never thought of understanding or reading about it or knowing about it. So in any way, so hope this upcoming series of the video what I am uploading is just a tip of the iceberg. I have tried to explain it in a very philosophical way. That is the first part. Now the second part comes in these 7 years. I have tried to reorganize this knowledge or which I acquired in sense of the philosophy. I tried to reorganize it in a more easier way, more a subtle way, in a more scientific and structured way. So you can say this 7 years, this idea, this fetus was growing in, and I think this is the now time where it should be delivered, because trying in time, many times, by me, by many people, I'm looking at the people who are doing this, it has proved to be viable and very scientific also. When I say scientific, which means it is in control and you can replicate the idea. That's the only understanding of science by me. So give me your feedback. I know there are certain lacunas because of the time constraint, but I'll be trying to rectify. I'll be happy to answer everything, whatever is possible. I'll be making more interactive sessions, and overall I could understand in these many years that the biggest mistake what we do in the process of learning is seeking answers. So don't seek any answers out of it. It is just a food for thought to you. Try to ask questions, and if your question is right, your subconscious will bring answers in front of you. That's the whole idea of seventh sense, making knowledge effortless, giving you that freedom to access anything within control limits, but effortlessly. So finally, I will conclude this interaction by saying that I always say is, philosophy is the mind of science. Thank you.